One of the chief tools that men use to keep women in their place is to attack your sense of self, to do everything they can to make you doubt yourself, to feel insecure, to beat on your self-esteem, to tell you that you're not good enough, how bad you are, why nobody wants you. All these kinds of mental, emotional, and verbal abuses are quite prevalent online. They also, of course, happen outside of the online environment in personal relationships. Women talk about this all the time. It's something that police and domestic violence prevention programs talk about all the time. So this shit is very real. Now, as you may know, some of you may not, I have scheduled the second webinar for April 27th. The topic that we're going to deal with is self-esteem and confidence, and to try to get you to understand the ways in which yours is being beaten up, has been beaten up in the past, and what you can do to get yourself back on track. That'll be taking place on April 27th. You can go on the Surviving Dating website and see the information for it and register. But I ran across, the reason why I'm even doing this is my second video today. You know, I usually don't try to do two in a day. But I think this needed to be addressed right away while the topic was fresh in my mind. I was sent a link by one of my Facebook friends to a video where this guy was talking about women and referring to them as pre-spinsters. Now, in his mind, a woman that's somewhere in her mid-30s is at the beginning of pre-spinsterhood. What? You crazy. That's the bottom line with that. He's just a nut. But he kind of backtracked a little bit. He kind of brought it up. Well, maybe mid-30s, mid-40s. If you're after that and you still single and you ain't never been, you ain't with nobody, you touching on being a spinster. Okay, so he went through 20 minutes of just, rambling on and on about the ways that women are, the ways that they were not pleasing to men in their youth, and that now they're older, they seem like they want to get with somebody, so they're trying to change. And in his video, he's telling you why your changes that you're making aren't good enough, won't be accepted, and how you basically are facing life alone for the rest of your life, being alone. Now, why would someone say that? This is going to be the freebie before we do the webinar. Why would someone say that to you? Because he's scared as fuck. These guys are afraid, because look at this. Every year, every day that passes in your life that gets you older, the same day is passing in his. So his monkey ass ain't getting no younger than you. Keep that in mind, okay? As you age, so do all these motherfuckers talking about you getting older. They're getting older too. That's one. Number two is, you are not here to live your life to please some miscellaneous random stray motherfucker on YouTube. Who cares what he thinks? See, you guys make the mistake of going around on YouTube and all these social media pages and stuff, listening to these idiots and paying attention to what they say. I mean, you have to have a strong mind. I admit, you have to have a strong mind so that you don't internalize this kind of stuff. I just laugh at them because I think it's so pitiful that grown men have to make videos to whine at women they don't even know about, what the women they don't even know have done with their life. It's not your business what she did or who she was fucking. Why do you care? She wasn't talking to you. She wasn't dealing with you. And if you talk about some woman that you did deal with who rejected you, that's something you need to talk about with your local psychologist. But getting on YouTube making videos about it and ranting and raving at women talking about who doesn't want them. I mean, what? How? Where they do that at? That just made no sense. But I want to go over these issues with you ladies because I think that it's important to bring these kind of issues out to the surface and not talk around them. I attack stuff head on because, especially when it's bullshit, I like to bring it to your attention and show you how wrong it is for you to think that this is any kind of indictment of you in any way, shape, or form. Okay, so one of the things he says is that, women get upset when guys on YouTube start talking about, well, you gave the wrong guys your best years. You gave the wrong guys your best years. Those wrong guys were any guy who didn't want to marry her, which is you. You, your friends, your brothers, your cousins, your uncles, all y'all. Because you guys like to take, you want to complain about a woman using her sexuality to attract men and get money. That's what she's supposed to do. While she has her youth and beauty, she's supposed to get every fucking thing she can from men because everybody already knows y'all are full of shit. You don't want to get married in your 20s. You barely want to start thinking about it in your 30s. And even if you do, you don't act right. You cheat. You want to beat the girl, corner cut, and do all kind of crazy stuff. And then you end up divorced anyway. So what is there for her to do but to get whatever she can get out of you? That's a fair trade. You getting what you want out of her by giving as little as possible. So don't get mad if she does the same thing to you. See, if you guys really were the leaders that you said you were, you're going to be considered kings and all this old stuff. You would come correct to these women and you would make them your wives. You would start building something with them. You would create families and you would create a legacy. But that's not what you do. You just want to hoe hop and talk shit, and then when you get in your 30s, then you want to start looking at women saying, well, you're in your 30s and you're not married. Motherfucker, I don't see a ring on your finger. You just as single as she is and just as old. Shut the fuck up. Just shut up. I mean, really? These dudes think that somebody can't see that? Okay, then look at this. So then he says, well, when you were young, you were too self-centered and you didn't want to work with men. Okay, because a woman focuses on herself, which is what she should do if she's not married. Okay, you don't want to marry her. Remember that? You're trying to get the benefits of being somebody's husband without making the commitment and taking on all the responsibilities and obligations. You just want the good part. And then you have the nerve to be complaining about a woman who tells you to go fuck yourself. And you want to sit up here and make a video and complain about it now later that she told you to go, go somewhere with that nonsense. But here you go. Okay, so then he says, well, you don't understand that, men need respect. And they need to have, you have to respect their masculinity and their manhood and not use your sexuality against him. Okay, let's look at that. Men's masculinity is based on how much pussy they get and the quality of the pussy they get. You guys can't even feel like men unless you fucking. That's the bottom line. It's like all of the YouTube is full of dudes who's not getting no trim. And what do they say? Oh, I just don't feel like a man. They just don't want me. I don't know what to do. And they sitting there whining and crying because nobody will screw them. Okay, so you was lucky enough to get some pussy, but now you mad because you got it? Do you know how stupid you sound? It's like you can't know. You just know pleasing you. You're mad if you don't get some, and now you're mad if you do. I just don't understand that. So you got what she had to give you, and then you should be going away happy because you got it. So don't be talking about she used it against you. How did she use it against you? Nobody forced you to go fuck her. You chose to do that. And ladies, you need to understand this. Everything I'm saying here, this is how you need to think when you hear these messages from these guys. Stop thinking that there's something wrong with you. Stop thinking that what they're saying has any validity to it. It's nothing. It's just like trash, garbage talk from the mouths of idiots. And they sit there and you don't know these dudes. These dudes aren't even talking about you. Anybody you know, they're just rambling on just because they like the sound of their own voice, I guess. I don't know what's wrong with them. But all the stuff that they're saying, all these criticisms of women have nothing to do with you. You did what you were supposed to do with your life and your body and your time. If a guy didn't come to you correct and didn't come with you with a ring and didn't come with you talking about something sensible, like what y'all was going to do together, he didn't have a plan, then you were supposed to just fuck him and leave him. That's what you were supposed to do. I mean, if you even did that. You know what I mean? You didn't know his ass shit. So these guys up here whining about this, well, you need to respect him. No. Nobody needs to respect your masculinity. You need to respect your masculinity like she respects herself. And, you think that you're supposed to get all the special treatment by all these women that you just screwing. You're nobody's husband. No one owes you that. If you want to get that kind of loyalty and that kind of treatment and that kind of reverence from a woman, you need to have a wife, and then you could get it. But you just sitting up on YouTube single as a jaybird and talking about what women didn't give you and how you mad about it and all this old stuff. You sound like a fool. Okay, then he says, you guys use men as tools for your egos. You want men to be taking you out and spoiling you and this and that you women were raised without fathers, and you want men to treat you the way your daddy never did. Okay, he is obviously confused. Because when a woman grows up without a father, what she does is does too much. It's exactly the opposite of what he thinks it is. When a woman has a father, that's when she demands the good treatment. Like, if you had a father who took you to nice restaurants and put you in nice cars and put you in nice clothes, and you always got your hair done and everything, why would you settle for some motherfucker coming into your life who doesn't do that much or more? See, the bar is really high when a woman has a dad who loves her like that and treats her well. It's the women who don't have that treatment that accept anything from anybody because they're trying to have that kind of fill that hole that daddy left. So he's got his logic is backwards, and he doesn't really understand what he's talking about. So on that one. All right, then let me flip my paper over because I was writing as fast as I could to keep up with the stupidity. Okay, so then he started talking about, well, some of you women did get married. You got married, and then you got tired of him, and so you got a divorce. You got bored, or you got tired of him. You know what? Women will tend to get tired of men who aren't doing anything. It's like this. When a woman gets with you, there's a certain vision that she has for the relationship and for you. Most of that is based on the shit that you told her that you was going to do, the shit that you was going to be, the shit that you was planning, okay? Now, if she gets with you and those things don't start to come to fruition, or if you start ducking and dodging and doing stuff that hurts her, even if you apologize, the relationship has been irrevocably damaged. Okay, that's something men don't seem to understand. There's only that one level of love that you're going to get, and that's at the beginning. Once you start to chip away at that with your lies, with your cheating, with your not keeping up your end of the relationship, every time you hurt her emotionally, psychologically, you say some sharp, cruel shit to her that makes her cry, every time you do something like that, she falls a little bit more out of love with you. And it may take years, but at some point she's going to look at you and realize she doesn't love you anymore, and then the relationship is over. And you did that to yourself. You did that. So don't be mad at her because she got tired of your shit and packed her stuff up and left. You made that happen by acting a fool. You didn't treat her right. And so she's going to get tired of your shit and leave. But you brought that on yourself. So don't be mad. Don't be mad. Be mad at, if you're going to be mad at anybody, look bad at the person that's in the mirror. Okay, so then he says, but you guys get that you ladies turn into cougars, and you looking for attention because you can't get the attention and stuff that you used to get when you were younger, and that men aren't blinded by your beauty and youth anymore, and now they want something else and blah blah blah, all this other old stuff. Please. And he makes it sound like it's a whole, like, that's why women are dating younger. Women date younger because the dick is good. That's all. Because a lot of older guys, they on the blood pressure medicine, they got sugar, they got problems with their backs, they got problems with their knees, they don't always work out. I mean, it's not all, because there's a lot of older dudes that be in the gym. I see them in there and they look good. They look really good. But those are the minority. Most of the dudes got a gut and they don't exercise, they don't do nothing but sit around and eating and watch TV and talking shit. So they have a big old gut, they have chins, they have them hot dog rolls on the back of their neck, and they waddle when they walk and stuff like that, rolls on the side. So when you see a guy like that and he's complaining about what a woman does, it's like, excuse you, you need to look in the mirror. And so when a woman, he's like, well, a woman who's older, so now she's doing this for attention. No. You got that twisted. When a woman is in her 40s, even if she's in her 50s, if she looks good, she's going to be the darling to a man who's in his 60s or 70s. Okay? He's going to give her everything that she used to get when she was younger. It may not be you, but see, age is relative. As long as there's an age difference between her and the man, he's going to want her. That's the part you don't get. You don't understand it because you're not old enough like that. You can get a spry dude in his 70s or 80s if you in your 60s and 70s. And he's still going to give you money, and he's still going to do shit for you. And that's just how it is. Men will always pay for pussy. They will always pay for female companionship. They will always pay for female time. Now, you guys don't understand that yet because you're not old enough. But trust me, that's how it works. The age of the man just gets older, and the age of the woman does too. But as long as she keeps that same age gap and keeps herself looking halfway decent, she can get whatever man she wants. Then he says, well, let me look at, oh God, my writing is so bad. So then he started talking about, how you raise your kids right, and you didn't want to partner with a guy, and you didn't want to be with him and raise a family with him and stuff. Now he still ain't said nothing about being nobody's husband. He hasn't mentioned that. He's just talking about being with them. And I'm like, okay, I'm not hearing weddings here. I'm not hearing marriage, but whatever. And then he says, well, now that your kids are teenagers, you looking at being by yourself in an empty nest, and you thinking you don't want that. So now you're going to try to use up your femininity and dress different and be different around men, because now you want to have a man so you don't be alone for the rest of your life. That is so egotistical. What he doesn't understand is when you have kids, especially when you have daughters, you can't be having a bunch of niggas around your kids. Because what happens, they always get molested. It's always some bullshit. If they're little tiny kids, then they usually end up dead. 2-year-olds are the number one age for children to be killed by the mama's boyfriends. So, you look at a woman who protected her children by staying away from men until they got to an age where they could protect themselves and use the phone and run and fight back and stuff like that. That's what she's supposed to do. That is a good mother. So when you're saying you try to hold it against her now because she did what she was supposed to do, see, this is the same token these niggas will turn around and say, well, you shouldn't have had all the men over your kids. It's your fault that your child got molested. It's your fault that your child got raped. It's your fault that your child got killed by your man, because you should have chose better. You shouldn't have had that man over your kids. Okay, so women, rather than worry about if the dude is the right dude or not and taking the risk with their children, they just eliminate all dudes. Then they don't have to worry about it. They don't have to subject their kids to any nonsense. They don't have to stress themselves out trying to figure out what you going to do and if you that good dude or the bad dude. They don't have to worry about all that. They just eliminate all men until their children are older teenagers. To me, that is a good plan. Not every woman can do that, to separate their romantic life and keep those men away from their children. But those who do are very successful. Their children grow up feeling safe and secure. They don't have any drama boyfriends molesting them and stuff. They sleep well at night and it's all good. And so, but he's trying to hold that against you by saying, well, now you want somebody. That's how it works when you got kids, and once they get older, that's how it's supposed to be. So I don't have a problem with it. And I know a lot of guys who don't either, because they don't want that. They don't even want the shadow of that kind of thing on them, where it could maybe happen where somebody's going to be looking at them sideways. They don't want to be bothered. So it works out really well for everyone concerned. And a lot of guys, they want, their kids are older too. They don't want a woman with younger kids. They want a woman with kids who's free to travel and stuff with them, like they can do, because their children are older. Okay, so that, I don't know what that was all about, but that was a moot point. So then he says, well, y'all want to be trying to say, well, now your kids are older, you want to go back to school and be going on trips and getting promotions and all at your jobs and all of that stuff. But you got to understand that don't mean nothing to men. Who gives a shit? It's not about you. A woman's life is not lived for you. You are going to be a part of it if she chooses to have you involved with her, but her life is not going to be molded, built, and created to please you. See, the ego here was just off the charts, just mind-boggling ridiculous. A woman is going to do what she needs to do because she's going to get a promotion because it's going to be more money. Maybe she got some kids getting ready to go to college, or she wants to buy a house or whatever. She's been working for this. She went back to school so she could get this promotion and make $50,000 a year more than she was making. Okay? So who gives a shit if you're not impressed by it? She's impressed by it, and so am I. So who gives a shit if you're not? You know what I mean? That just means your ego is too weak and you can't handle a woman of such great accomplishment. So go sit your narrow ass down somewhere. Your ego is too involved in what a woman does. You can't do that. If anything, you're supposed to be cheering her on, because the more money your baby brings into the household, the better shit is for you too, nigga. Oh my God, these dudes are just stupid, just retarded. I can't understand the thinking. Okay, so then he says, well, your family, your femininity rather doesn't come off as genuine. You weren't taught to be a lady, and you just want to be a woman when it's convenient and a man when convenient. Okay, how can a woman turn into a man? I know they have these trans people and that's what they trying to do. Men turn into women and all those stuff. But I mean, really? You think because a woman takes charge of her household and is about her business and can budget and make sure her shit is tight, her bills are paid and her life is in order, that means that she's a man? Because she can handle stuff on her own and she doesn't need a man to handle her life, she handles it like the adult that she is, then suddenly she's a man. Ladies, are you hearing what I'm saying here? Are you hearing this pimp game here? These mind fuck that they be trying to do to y'all to make you feel like it's wrong for you to be accomplished. It's wrong for you to be organized. It's wrong for you to have your shit together and not have your hands stuck out for a man to pay your bills. It's wrong for you to have you put your children and their safety as a priority. All of those things that make them feel like they're not in control and they have no power in your life is what he was bitching about. That was when you sum it all up. That's what it came to. All of these things made them feel powerless and not have any control over you. That's the number one thing that they want, is to control. And when you're in a situation where you're doing your own thing, you're happy, you're in control of what's going on in your life, you've got some goals for yourself and you're achieving them, and you're smiling, and you being like focused and directed on yourself and what you need to do for yourself. They just can't stand it. They can't fucking stand it. And so they resort to these kind of tactics here to try to shame you and humiliate you and embarrass you and put you down and make you feel bad about who and what you are and what you do for yourself and your kids. It's all a mind fuck. And I just really want you guys to stop focusing on what these idiots say, and please don't internalize this nonsense as being realistic. And they finish up with talking about your, okay, he's already talking about your age, right? Did he talk about your intellect? Did he talk about your money? Did he talk about your sexuality? Then in the final part, then he was talking about, physically, well, your body starts to fall apart, when you get older, and blah 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 blah, and this and that. Okay, but you know what? Women look better as a whole in an older age than men do. And I'm just like, what is he talking about? These guys don't really take care of themselves at all. I mean, you look at all these dudes in the videos that they're talking about, well, I'm in my 20s, and they look like they're in their 40s with that big ass Santa gut and stuff. And they don't take good care. They already got high blood pressure and diabetes and shit in their 20s and 30s. So their dick ain't working. They already got ED and shit and need Viagra when they 35 years old. What the hell? And so I don't know what he's talking about. You got women who, of course, they're going to mature. But does that mean that you lose value? Absolutely not. Because like I said, whatever age you are, is always somebody who's older than you who's going to think of you as a young chicken, a young spring chicken, and want to be all over you. So I don't, really pay too much attention to what they be talking about. But the main thing to really focus on for women is to understand that these guys talking about, well, how you single and you 35 and 40. Okay, you were dating these guys when you're in your 20s. How come none of them ever proposed? If they were so interested in you not being a spinster, and it was going to be causing them such great consternation in their older years, why did you not do something to stop that? You don't want black women or any women to be a spinster. What did you do to prevent that from happening? See, this was in your power to change, but you didn't do nothing about it. You just want to complain and bitch and moan. So, basically, I just really don't give a shit. Shut up. Go sit down somewhere. Be quiet. These women are single, and if they're single, it's either because A, they wanted to be, or B, because the men that they loved failed to marry them. One or the other. So you can't say that every single man who a woman loved was, quote, the wrong man, when the majority of y'all don't have no interest in marriage. That makes the majority of y'all then be the wrong man, which means it makes the majority of y'all need to go sit down somewhere and shut the fuck up. That's what that means. This is Deb Cooper from survivingdating.com. Bye bye. I'll talk to you soon.